Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, where in today's video of day 3 of mending our heart post breakup is going to focus on boundaries. We're going to talk about why boundaries are so important and why a lot of the times when we don't have boundaries set, like from within us, is when we most often find ourselves feeling hurt, disappointed, disheartened, like an overall sense of sadness of why the things that you want to experience are actually not being honored and like literally lived. So boundaries, first of all, I didn't even know what that word meant, and I had completely none. I feel like what I thought good boundaries were is the complete opposite of what good boundaries should be. Good boundaries are not people pleasing, bending your over backwards to please everyone, doing things when you want to say no and you say yes. Those are the kind of things that I thought I needed to be doing in order to like receive love. And once I went to counseling school, or like to become a counselor and got therapy myself, I understood that boundaries are invisible lines of like the caliber of energy or actions that you want to honor within yourself and not have other people cross. There's a really good definition here online, actually. I just Googled it because it embodies everything about boundaries. So they are personal rules about how you expect to be treated and what you will and won't accept, which then in turn creates a safety and respect, like aura around yourself. So it is not a secret that a lot of us, if not half of the percentage of the population, did not have an opportunity to be safe, to be seen, to be soothed, and to be secure from our parents. So a lot of us, there's about 50% of us, if not 60, that are walking around with an insecure attachment style, which means that your sense of self and sense of self of other people is not in the most ideal alignment of where a person would be if they had a secure attachment style, for example, and already that sense of safety and respect for self would already exist, because anyone with anything outside of a secure attachment style views the world in not a positive way, whether it's themselves or the other people. And that creates a sense of unsafety. And it puts you into fight or flight all the time, whether it is you're trying to protect yourself or you're trying to protect other people from like attacking you or overwhelming you or making you feel uncomfortable. So first of all, we have to recognize what boundaries are there that we have not experienced yet in our relationships, which then in turn would be very much going backwards into our childhood and seeing what kind of boundaries did we want to experience as children, and now we are recapitulating as adults in our romantic relationships. There's one that I wrote down as I was thinking about this video. I was like, yes, boundaries. Like, how do I even, because I didn't know what kind of boundaries I even needed when I first started to do the work. And also How to Do the Work by Dr. Nicole LaPera. She talks a lot about boundaries in there. How do you even know what boundaries we need for self? go back into your childhood and see what did you yearn from your parents? What did you yearn from them to do or to be or to show up? A really big one that I wrote down is when I was thinking about the concept, what boundaries did I want as a child? I wanted to not be hit when I made a mistake. Because in turn, that became like a really, really, how do I say this? So as an adult, I always repeated that same pattern then, and I would hit myself with my words when I made a mistake because I'm recapitulating the same pattern. So if I fell off my bike, I got hit. If I got a B, I got hit. No matter what, like the punishment was pain. So now as an adult, when I made a mistake, I criticized myself with my self-talk and I caused myself pain. So one of the boundaries that I would want to have in a relationship is if I make a mistake within a relationship, I don't want my partner to punish me the same way that my mother did, or my mind kept doing the same thing, like via self-talk. Like that's a boundary of mine. So no name calling, no bad talking, like none of that. That is a very clear boundary that I have now, whereas I did not have that before. And I feel like I allowed my partners to talk to me essentially like I was a piece of shit. And I allowed that because I didn't have a boundary. So there are many other boundaries that one can think of, that you want to implement and create. So think about the things that you haven't had a chance to experience yet from your partner. Maybe you want to feel important. Like maybe a boundary of yours is that you want to be considered. And if you're not going to be considered, if you're not going to be responded to on a timely manner, if you're not going to be responded to within 24 hours, or even within 12 hours, within the same day, like what kind of tolerance do you have for other people's actions in order to not disappoint yourself in what you want to experience? This is another really good point about boundaries. Boundaries are about managing our behavior and what we will tolerate, not controlling other people's actions, because we cannot control other people's actions, but we can definitely have boundaries set. And the one thing that a lot of the times prevents us from having those boundaries is fear. Fear that they're going to leave us, fear that they're going to reject us, fear that we're not worthy of this boundary setting, and oh my God, maybe we have too many boundaries and maybe that's too much for them and they're going to walk away. They're going to think I'm too needy. This is too much. Like scared to implement these boundaries because they're going to leave. But honestly, like screw that. If they cannot meet us where we want to be met or honor the boundaries that we have, then they can leave. Because you know what? Somebody else, if you show universe that you mean business and you know your boundaries, and once they're crossed, you may give a warning and maybe even two, but beyond that, you're like, okay, this is not working for me. And you walk away, because this is not about controlling other people's actions, like honoring what you want to experience. And then you let them go without any fear that somebody else is going to be able to come in. No attachment to this person and or individual. Any attachment that we have on someone to fulfill, even like the lack of boundaries that we had with our primary caregivers, it's the idea of that person represents the idea of an experience that you haven't had the opportunity to have yet. Because if your boundaries were crossed all the time when you were a child via punishment or like negative self-talk, criticism, contempt, stonewalling, like there's so many different ways that our poor parents were not able to show up for us, or they were not emotionally available because maybe they had a really hard time, or they worked too much, or so many different ways that can happen. And we're going to relive it in our adult lives. But that doesn't mean now that we cannot reparent ourselves and give ourselves the opportunity to experience what not having those boundaries crossed feels like, without having the fear of losing like that parent, right? Maybe we're scared like our parents are going to leave us and what's going to happen to us. We don't have to have that fear now, because if someone is not capable because of their own wounding to meet us where we want to be met, it's best for us to also let them go, because we're also become enablers. When we allow someone to cross our boundaries over and over again, we also become enablers for them to repeat their own unhealthy patterns, and we don't give them an opportunity and a chance to heal what they maybe want to be wanting to heal from the inside, so they can be a better version of themselves, so they can experience relationships in the best way possible. So at the end of the day, we're all doing each other a favor when we do recognize what boundaries we want to be experiencing, and then not allow ourselves to cross them. And boundaries can, like, they're flexible, right? Like, they can change. And as you continue on in a relationship, you can create more boundaries, you can lessen one boundary. It's all up to you. It's fluid. It doesn't have to be super cemented and like rigid. It's just meant to protect your beautiful energy from giving it away. So then remember the analogy from the previous video that we just made about changing your story. Like, when you are full, when you fill your own needs by fulfilling your own boundaries and not letting people cross them, so then they can, that's draining, because it takes away from your energy and it drains your cup, then you're not going to be hungry for any sort of relationship and let that person in. You're not going to be so hungry that you're going to overlook red flags. And that's essentially what boundary crossing is. It's like red flags that we excuse. So I'd love to hear what kind of boundaries are coming up for you that you want to be implementing. And you can go as detailed as possible, like from communication to how you want to be communicated to. No name calling, the amount of time that you want to be spending with someone. What do you want to choose to say yes to and not say no to? Like, you create the boundaries that you want to experience, or even the ones that you didn't have a chance to experience as a child, and you set that to be your blueprint. And maybe, yes, have a bit of flexibility and allowance, but have that be your castle. And you're going to be inside there and protected. And whoever has the capacity, not wants to, because many people want to, but we don't have the capacity to do so. But whoever has the capacity will come and meet you. You don't have to have fear of that, because if you show universe that you believe in yourself and you believe in your boundaries, and you know without any hesitation, you have a strong belief and you trust that there is a person out there, because you're worthy and you deserve of all your boundaries to be met, and you create that space because you're not allowing garbage to be coming in and breadcrumbing, then and only then can that person come in and find you, because they're going to meet you where you at. That's going to be your vibrational frequency. My name is Anna Morfides, Many Horse Counseling, dedicating this channel to living our best lives. Thank you so much. If you liked anything about the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so, or give me any ideas or any future workshop videos, topics to discuss. Thank you so much. With all my love and gratitude, I will see you tomorrow.